Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Skyrim Special Edition Modded. We're here with Arturius Tyrannus, the blacksmith. We've been busy and we've been doing a lot of stuff. In the last episode, we got caught for doing something wrong. We tossed a sword down on the ground so we could make a display and show it to you guys. And a guard came up and started hassling us, and we incurred a 10 septim bounty on our heads. So I went ahead and took care of that. I just approached a guard and paid off the fine, and all is well. So we're no longer a criminal. I'm not interested in becoming a criminal, but just to continue where we left off, here's some of the stuff that we made in the last episode. If I just go over to the weapons here, let's do by weight. So the Thresher Maul, this thing's huge. It's really cool looking, and I can't wait to find a way for us to put something like this up for a display. We've also made a few swords. We made this Claymore sword here. I really like this Cyrodiilic style with the leather and iron. This is an iron weapon. So for a two-handed weapon, it's not that much damage for a two-handed weapon. As you can see, we've got a sword here that's nearly the same as far as damage. This is the Captain's Cutlass. This one actually took us some septims to make, so I think we banged out some gold here for the hilt, but that's a very nice sword for a nobleman. Here we have an interesting sword called the Hollow Blade, and it looks like it has some decorative stitching right there around this cutout part here. But look at that thing, isn't that a cool sword? Alright, we also made this gnarly looking guy here. This is the Nordic Dwemer Blade. And that is a fantastic looking sword, if I do say so myself. I just want to mention, you can't zoom in on these while you're in the crafting menu. And if anybody knows of a mod that would allow you to do that, I really would like to do this zoom function while I'm crafting, so I can take a look at, the edges of the blade and the hilts and things like that before I bang one out. But until then, we'll just put them in this crate over here, and then we'll inspect them like this after we make them. We've already seen the Clan Bringer, the Blackwater Blade, and the Huntsman Sword. Those we made in early on in other episodes. And we've also, last episode, made this Spear Blade, which is an amazing looking model. I just have to say, with all this patterning, and I hope it comes across in the video, this blade is really cool looking. Whoever made the model for this is a very creative person. Alright, so I made another weapon as well off camera. And that weapon is a warbow. As you know, Art is using the warbow. We have one that's been upgraded to Exquisite. And in the past couple of episodes, we've been working on our smithing level, and we're up in the high 90s, or at least in the 90s right now. And I came across something interesting. I haven't been able to upgrade this past Exquisite. Now, I want to go over here to the grindstone and show you what I figured out. One of the perks that we took in the last episode was the advanced workstation, and this prompt is asking us if we'd like to spend 2,500 gold to upgrade this grindstone. We are going to do that, but I'm not going to do it right this second because I want to take a look real quick at the warbow. Now, the warbow is basically an upgraded longbow. So, the longbow being one of the weakest weapons in the game as far as bows are concerned. And we, at our lower levels, were able to get this up to Exquisite. But as you can see, even with high 90s and a lot of smithing perks, we aren't able to upgrade it past Exquisite. Now, I had a thought. Perhaps it's because of the perk or a lack of a perk. And if I go up here to the warbow that is unupgraded, we haven't honed this weapon at all. If I click on it, it goes to flawless level. So as you can see, we have the Exquisite hunting bow at a damage of 26 with our current marksmanship level. But if we try to upgrade this warbow, it goes one step above Exquisite to a flawless. And all of the other weapons that I took a look at, like for instance, if we wanted to, we can look at our axe. We can now upgrade the axe to legendary because of our high level of smithing. So my thought is, and some of you may correct me if I'm mistaken. I believe that this bow, this hunting bow, is in a different category than standard or iron or steel weapons, and it's not dwarven or elven or Nordic or I think what did we do? We did glass. I think this is up in the higher tiers, maybe even ebony. I'm guessing. I'm guessing there. So we'll find out later. So I'm not going to try to upgrade these
May the
yet.
gods watch over your battles, friend.
And the reason for that is I want to wait until we get some more smithing perks and then test it again because that'll confirm whether or not that is the case. But in the meantime, we're going to go from a damage of 23 on Art's Axe to a damage of 25. We're going to upgrade this bad boy to legendary quality. Alright, so the next thing that I'd like to take a look at is our armor. Now we've got some pretty cool armor. This armor came from the Divine Elegance collection, and one of the things that you have to do if you want to upgrade that is you need to have this crafting raven in your inventory. Now I promised that once we had enough gold, which we do now, that we were going to return this one that we borrowed back to the Divine Elegance store, and we are going to do that because we're going to purchase our own. And but before we do, I just want to take a look and see what we can do with our armor to see if we can pump our light armor rating up with our nice wolf vest armor. So it looks like we can not upgrade the boots. The boots may be in a different category similar to the warbow where we don't have a perk for that yet. These might be in the ebony category. I don't know how to check that without going into the creation kit or something like that. But in the meantime, our main armor, it looks like here that we can upgrade that to flawless. Now, with our current levels in smithing, I think we're in, like I said before, I think we're in the 90s. I really believe that I should be able to upgrade that further. However, again, it may be in a different category that we don't quite have the perk for yet. So rather than upgrade it now, I'm going to go ahead and hold off until later. We will go ahead and take the gloves up to legendary. That's going to give us another 4 points. And then we are also going to do the hood, which will go only 1 point of upgrade for that one. So I'm going to hold off on the clothes. And then I'll find out later if we are suffering from that lack of a perk, if I can upgrade the boots. Because right now, we can't upgrade those past exquisite. Now, a lot of what I've said just now, pure conjecture. I'm guessing about most of it. I'm not an expert on each of those different mods and what they are able to or not able to do. Let me go ahead and store away our loner crafting raven for the time being. Now, I just want to take a look at our journal real quick. And let's see, in the journal, I've been having a much easier time these days. My affinity with the locals is greatly improved, and sales at market have been quite impressive. Pretty soon, I might even look for someone to run the stall for me so I can attend to other matters. And then on another additional entry, Lisbeth over at Arnleaf & Sons Trading Company has asked me to visit her about a problem that she's having. If I take care of it, she promises to let me make an offer to one of her workers to run the stall for me. And I'm sure that it won't be for free. I'm sure it's going to be for a price. So if we take a look at our to-do list, I really do want to find and hire a new employee to run the stall. That is something that you can do with the market stall. You can have a follower sit there and run the stall for you. And that would be a way for us to automatically generate income with the stuff that we're making without us having to spend hours and hours, which I have been doing, spending hours and hours off camera, sitting in the stall doing manual haggling with each customer. And I really want to automate that process by hiring a trusty employee. Also on our to-do list is to consider some hired help. Besides all the all but useless guards, the guards in the last outing where we went under the Understone Keep into Nchuenzel Ruins excavation site, the guards were pretty poor performers, and I was a little disappointed in that. So I'd like to find someone to hire that is a little bit better of a fighter, and someone that we might be able to have with us on a little bit more permanent of basis. And then, as always, we always are going to have this item on our to-do list, which is craft more armor and weapons for the market, and then try and find out about more rare supplies. That is something that I would like to get into very soon. I believe we're going to have to venture out into some new cities in order to find suppliers that have more rare ingredients, like, for instance, ebony. I would really like to own some ebony, and we've got quite a bit of money. If we take a look at our ledger, I just finished doing our calculations for the day right after the market closed yesterday. So this actually, we're in the next day right now. So at the current coin count, I had 6,611 septims. For held notes, we had 15 of the East Empire notes at 5,000 each, and for the Merchant Guild notes, we had 9 of those at 1,000 each. We currently have 2 gold bullion. Each of those are worth 5,000. And then today's profit, which was yesterday, from the stall was 5,280 septims. And our total profit to date from the market stall is 90,412 septims. And then our total assets that we have right now that are liquid assets, and by liquid assets, I mean things that can convert immediately into their value of money, which are the gold bullions, the notes, and the coins. Our total is, yes, you see that right, ladies and gentlemen, we have broken the 100,000 septim mark. We are at 1,611 as of yesterday. Now, I also set up a little area for us to do some alchemy over here, and I put auto storage on an ingredients chest. So I did a little more trading with Bothella up at the Hag's Cure, and we have quite the collection now of ingredients. And what I did to collect these was I bought ingredients in the Hag's Cure, went to their alchemy table, made some really expensive potions, and then sold them to back to Bothella. I did that several times and was able to buy her out of her entire stock of ingredients. And then I set up another chest over here, which I haven't put anything in yet, but that's going to be for us to store our potions and our poisons. So yeah, I just moved this chair over a little bit, and then we needed some lighting, so I set up a hanging brazier up above us. There is an invisible light source right underneath, but it looks really nice out here in the evening. We have plenty of light if it's very dark out. Now, if I take a look at the day today, it's a pretty misty day, but let's head on in to Markarth proper, because we need to get some hired help. Alright, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, in Markarth. It is a heck of a gloomy day today, but we're not going to let that slow us down. Just taking a look through here, it looks like the market's not quite open yet. Our market stall was doing very well in the previous day. We still have quite a few weapons here, and a couple of hunting bows, a couple of longbows. These guys really bought the heck out of our Forsworn weapons and armor, but I still have, if you look here, I still have 20 Forsworn armor pieces and 12 boots and 6 gauntlets for sale. So we've got plenty of items that we can work on selling. And then, so after speaking with Lisbeth, we've got a couple of different things, and let's just take a look at our map real quick. So we spoke to the Jarl the other day because we wanted to clear out a Kolskiger mine, and he was so gracious as to allow us to hire a couple of guards to help us out with that. And since then, I've been attacked again several times by Forsworn while I was hunting in this general area right around here. And then, so what I'd like to do is with our hired help and our trusty dog, Vigilance, we are going to help out the Jarl, and we're going to kill the leader of Red Eagle Redoubt. And we have another quest that's very close by. If I can get the marker to let me do a little finagling here. Yeah. The Arab, which is a Orsimer at Dushnik Yal, charged me with retrieving the, what is it called? Gauntlets of the smithing gauntlets. Forge Master's Fingers, that's it. Thank you very much for your patience. So we're going to kind of do the quest for Lisbeth. We're going to take a look and see if we can retrieve the shipment for her, because she's going to gift us with the ability to speak to one of her workers to work for us at our market stall. And we are going to hit all 4 of these locations. We got a bounty from the Jarl's Steward to get rid of the bandits out of the Four Skull Lookout. And I'm planning on, what I would like to do is, I'm just going to go to the closest one, which is right across the road here from Blind Cliff Cave. So we're going to hit Four Skull Lookout, and then we're going to go to the Sundered Towers, and then we're going to climb over the hill or follow the river, however is the easiest way, to Broken Tower Redoubt. And then we will venture north up to retrieve Lisbeth's shipment. Now, I don't know how long it's going to take us to get through these. I am fairly confident that we're going to survive our way through, but we may not be able to get to all of that in one episode, especially since I've been talking for so much in this one. So let's head on in here to the Silverblood Inn. And Arturius is
warm food, warm drinks, and warm beds.
Going to look around and see. I heard word. Yep, there he is. This gentleman right here, his name is Vorstag, and we have...
You look like someone who can hold their liquor. How about a friendly contest to win a staff?
No thank you.
You look like someone who can hold their liquor. How about a friendly contest to win a staff?
No thank you, sir. Enjoy your drink. I am on a mission. Mr. Vort...
like someone who can hold their
Okay,
liquor.
I'm going to stand over here, because that guy's a little bit freaking me out.
What can I do for you?
Mr. Vorstag, how do you do today?
I'm what you'd call a soldier of fortune. Make me an offer, and I just might fight at your side.
Mr. Vorstag, you might be just exactly what I've been looking for, and I would like for you to join me, as I believe you and I probably, along with my dog, can take care of the small task of clearing out 4 different locations of enemies of the Reach. What do you say?
That's a fair price. My blade is yours. Let's get going then.
All right, let's get going. I'm with you. So, yeah, I think I really kind of like his elven attire here. That's quite the shield he's got there. However, I believe what we're going to do, because I am Arturius the blacksmith, we're going to take a look at his stats, and we're going to make sure that he is outfitted properly for, I don't want to say exploiting, for properly utilizing all of his attributes that he currently possesses. Now, I haven't leveled up. I mentioned that earlier because I want to, now that he's our follower, to see if he's going to level up with us. So the first thing I'd like to do is level up. And we're at 235 on our health and at 199 on our stamina. With our belt pouches, I'm happy with our carry weight. And I believe, again, I'm going to put some into health. And I'm going to do that again. And with the reason we got 2 levels there was because of all the potion brewing that I was doing over at the Hag's Cure. So if we just get out of this magic mess over here, let's take a look over at our alchemy. We're at level 49 in alchemy, which is excellent. Speech, because of the market stall, we're all the way up to level 73. We've been doing some training with our bow. I set up a archery target, and we've been doing some practice with some practice arrows. We've gotten our archery up to level 45. We're still pretty low on our one-handed, and I really want to maybe find us a training dummy so that we can set one of those up over at the left-hand mine. And that way we'll be able to train our one-handed as well. I even think I might have seen one in the abode of the smith named Moth, the brother of Gorza. So we might go take a look at that. And then over here in the smithing tree, again, we have taken both of the smithing mastery perks, both of the merit smithing perks, both of the expert smithing perks, and I believe the next one we would like to do is going to be crystalline, which will include both ebony and SkyRem, and glass. But I'm only going to take one because remember, I'm trying to basically troubleshoot and see what is the reason we couldn't upgrade our warbow, and what is the reason we couldn't upgrade our armor farther than we were able to. So I'm going to go ahead and take this perk just for the ebony and SkyRem because I have a sneaking suspicion that this one is the one that is the culprit. Now, and then I think what I'm going to do now is I'll just keep those other two perk points for a little bit later on. Now, we are level 24, and I'm going to take a look here, and we're going to take a look at follower framework. This is Nether's follower framework, and we're going to look at our follower stats. And I dismissed so we're going to take a look at our follower stats. Now, I have dismissed Vigilance just temporarily while I was at the market stall because he tends to get underfoot. And yeah, so looks like Vorstag is level 24. He has a health of 391, magicka of 50, and a stamina of 127. This is excellent, and I'm quite happy with that. Let's take a look at his behaviors. He is aggressive, he helps allies, he's very confident, which is definitely what we want. And he is on any crime as far as morality. And let's see. The types of crimes follower will commit and support. Okay, well, I don't want to do any crimes, but if I do accidentally, I don't want my follower to turn hostile towards me and start trying to kill me. So we just hired him, so we don't have any regard or regard points with him, and we do have the affinity system engaged. And if we just take a look over here, his biggest aspect right now is block. His light armor is at 70. And excuse me, I said his biggest, but that's not his biggest. His light armor is at 70. And his marksman is at 48. One-handed at 37. And what is his two-handed at 75? So he's a light armor two-hander. If we want to take advantage of his skill points, then we need to put him with a two-handed weapon, and he's currently got one-handed and a shield, but even that, I believe if we put him with light armor and two-handed. So light armor and two-handed. Now he's already got this elven armor, which is light armor, but I think we can do better than that. So let's head back to the mine and see what we're going to do to outfit our new bodyguard. I'm going to call him a bodyguard because, again, we're a blacksmith and I'm not much of a fighter. And yeah, I'm planning on sending this guy into some trouble. So come on, Vorstag, let's go get you outfitted and see what we can do over at the Forge. Alright guys, we're back at the Forge, and here comes Volstagg. Look at him. He is, what do you call it? Walking with a sense of purpose. Alright, so let's take a look at what we have for two-handed. So if I just look at the weapons and the damage for a two-handed, now the Thresher Maul, that might be something interesting. However, for someone who is a light armor person, I'm going to guess that he's more of a sword swinger. And in that case, our Cyrodiilic Claymore is currently the highest damage two-handed weapon that we have. And I do think that between the Cyrodiilic Iron Claymore and the Guardian's Longsword, I believe that we might be able to come up with something a little bit better. So let's see what is the highest damage two-handed sword that we can make. Now, I'm not completely sure, so we might be mistaken, but if I just go by damage and look at great swords, it looks like the, I don't even want to attempt to say this, S-E-D-E, Sedithul. Okay, Sedithul or Sedithul Greatsword.
Hello, friend.
That is a gnarly looking two-hander for a greatsword, and its damage with my low two-handed, I'm very low at two-handed. This is going to be much higher damage for our bodyguard, so I'm going to go ahead and make him one of those. And it looks like we're going to use 6 steel ingots, 2 leather, 4 silver bullion, and a moonstone brick, which we only have 1 of. So with all of the ingredients that we have so far, this would be the weapon. This would be the highest value, highest damage two-handed weapon that we can make with our current ingredients. So let's go ahead and let's make it. Here goes nothing. Alright, now second thing, we want to look at armor by class, and I want to look at light armor, and I'd like to see what is our ability to make some light armor for our guy. And you know what, maybe I should look at it by armor value. That might be a little better. So it looks like Elven Gilded Armor. Now, I don't know if I can look and see what is in his inventory currently, but it looks like he might be wearing something very similar to this. I don't know if that's going to work for us for now, so let me see. This has the same armor rating. It's the oiled mail and jacket, and I believe this is just a representation. I believe this looks a lot different once you make it, but I'm going to go ahead and make one of those. And then a little bit lower is the hunter armor. Alright guys, we're back with Vorstag here, and I think I came up with something. I really do want to see what this looks like.
What do you need?
Because what I did was I went ahead and made a full set of that really fancy looking armor, and I just want to throw this on the guy and see what it looks like. So he put it on right away, which is good. I also upgraded his boots to legendary. The Curious is legendary also. However, I'm missing a copper ingot in order to upgrade the gauntlets, but I'm going to go ahead and give him those as well. And then I made one more thing, and that was from a different mod, which is the Terra Armor collection, and that's this chiasmic helmet. All of this is a very high damage, or what do you call it, armor rating helmet, and I upgraded it to legendary. But the nice thing about these helmets are they are invisible, so he will have the protection of a helmet. It's not going to look like the crown here, but he's going to have the helmet, and he will equip it, I believe, but we'll never see it. So let's take a look at Vorstag now, and He's got his shield on again, but let's see if I draw my weapon. Yeah, there is his two-hander. I'm thinking he's looking like a light armor two-hander, kind of a badass. Pardon my language, but yeah, I'm thinking he looks pretty good, and I'd be intimidated if I had to stand up against this guy, and that's what we want. We want him to intimidate and destroy. Alright, so one more thing that I'd like to take a look at before we get going here, and that is Mr. Vorstag's combat role. One of the things I'm very interested in is I definitely want him to be more of a tank. I'd like for him to take the majority of the damage whenever possible. So if I just go into follower framework, I believe it's under follower tweaks. And under combat role, I'm going to put tank. Now, I believe it adds an additional perk to the follower, which will allow him to taunt, which will help draw enemies away from me. And I'm hiring him, I'm paying him good money, and and I want him to draw as much away from me as possible. So I'll just leave the taunt sound alone, and then that's his role, and for his style, it's set at default, but let's see, I'd like him to be set as a defender, because he's a bodyguard, so I want him to defend me, and his class is locked in, it looks like, as a barbarian, which that's fine. His combat range, let's see, I'm gonna see, can I set it to far? Yeah, so I can set it to far, and then for the default combat, if I enable the default, it will not use the frameworks combat package, but so I definitely don't want to do that. And then for his damage multiplier, I am going to use the same settings that I have set up through Wildcat for enemies and player, and his damage rating will be set to 2 times damage, which is exactly the same as my damage, and is exactly the same as all enemy damage. So let's hope that this helps us cut through these Forsworn and bandits. Now, I don't know how to test this out except for testing it out. So let me put my bow away, and let me say this. This episode ran way longer for getting Vorstag set up and ready to go. Way longer than I expected. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut it here, guys, and I will go record a part 2 for this episode, and the part 2 I will release, I'll record it right now as soon as this one ends, and I will release it as a separate video on the same day as you're seeing this one. So you'll see the part 1 of this episode and then part 2 right after. So I'm see you later, guys, and this is Arturius the Blacksmith. And that Vorstag's always running off and doing things on his own. Where's my dog? I have no idea. Where is Vigilance? He's sitting over there on the hay pile. I'm see you later, guys, and we'll see you later.